Hey, this is NFTeve Hennessy, and I'm here with Ian Shane, i2theSky, and he's going to show us his NFTs and his work, and we're going to get to know it today. So I'm just meeting you. I don't even know, where do you live?
So hello, first off, thank you very much for having me, NFTeve. Yes, I am Ian Shane. I live just up the Hudson River from New York City in Poughkeepsie, New York. It's a small city right in the middle of the Hudson Valley, which is a very beautiful area, particularly in the fall season.
Do you know Joan Belmar? He's an artist, a very good friend of mine from here, from DC, where I live, Washington, DC. He moved up there a couple of years ago, Poughkeepsie.
I have not met him yet, but definitely put us in touch. And I'm always
he's from Chile. He's one of my best friends. He's a very good artist. His name is he's spelled like Joan, like Joan, but okay. It's Joan. Yeah, I will put you in touch because he is a great artist and a wonderful.
Wait, he's not doing driftwood sculptures, is he?
No, he usually does large circular paintings and some things with 3D Mylar.
Awesome.
And a lot of planets, black holes, and a lot of things like that.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm always down to connect.
He's amazing.
That's the great thing about this community.
So do you want to just start showing your work and telling about it while you go, or
do
you want to tell the story how you get into NFTs? How did you get into NFTs? Let me ask
that. Stumbled completely into it. I've been an avid, sports fan and fantasy sports. And there started to be some crossover between some of the fantasy sports guys and the NFT crypto world. And, just found the right posts and the right blogs. And it's week 3 of the NFL season. And I actually don't think I've watched a game, which is insane. So yeah, that's just how it kind of evolved. And I've been really in it full time since July.
Amazing. And what's your main platform, or what do you spend? So since you're not watching football, what are you mostly doing in that time?
Yeah, there's always a space that's super interesting, and whether it's someone I'm familiar with and it's nice to talk, or it's some of these giants in the industry where you can just go in and listen and learn so much just hanging out in a space and clicking around and getting introduced to other artists that how else would you ever get in touch with them or find out about their work. So it's a super cool thing. And that being that I'm still in this 3-month kind of brand new honeymoon phase with everything, I can't get enough. There's so much to learn. And I spend more time doing Twitter and connecting than I did working 40 plus hours a week. But it doesn't, I don't know, there's no burnout. I feel happy about it. A lot of what goes on is helping people, and that's awesome. I'm enjoying every aspect of that.
Oh, when I wrote you, I think I met you on Space for Introverts, right? Probably, yes, that's really the only one that I go on. Mostly, I don't really know too many other ones that I really like, but I haven't really spent a lot of time looking. But now I think I'm recognizing your voice. You're the one who was explaining something very important, and I wrote you. I'm like, oh, can you explain that to us, right? Was that you?
Which thing? Wait.
I don't know what it was. It was.
Let me see.
Somebody was explaining something in a very good way. They had a similar voice.
Yeah, nothing specific.
All right. Okay.
You remember?
No, I would have written it right away. I don't remember, but somebody was really just explaining some of the technicalities about how to, the NFT space. All right. Well, let's look at some of your work.
All right.
Which is the whole reason for having the YouTube. I will have any NFT creator on here. Anyone can send me shorts, 15-second shorts, and just, to get to know people in their voice and also in their work. So
Sure. So you want me to throw the share up? Or?
Yeah, hit the share screen.
Awesome. So yeah, these Soul Seasons is the collection. It's going to be 40 shots throughout the year, 10 from each season. Light for me is something that is always amazing, as is the atmosphere. So I started off, wanting to be a weatherman and chasing tornadoes. So photography, videography, that was always, an integral part of that. It wasn't something I was going to be able to make a living at. So, life takes you away. And now that I'm back in a place where I can maybe explore it again, it's great to rediscover how much I really enjoy fluidity and motion. We all sit back and watch the clouds when we have a moment and can relax. The why of the way they move is something that fascinates me more than, as much as just the motion and the cute things you can kind of see in the clouds. I just really enjoy seeing the motion. I don't know. It's hard to explain it without kind of having it go on. It's easier to explain in the moment, I guess. But yeah, so in general, color, that's what I enjoy. Light is the perfect metaphor for life. We have the visible spectrum with, that we can see, and that's, your metaphor for what you get to experience in your life. But there's so much more beyond that, outside of what you get to see. And I think if we all were able to just pick and choose little parts and share them with each other, like we're doing in the NFT space, everyone's life gets to be enriched a little bit with all of these different pieces. So I just hope that I can connect with mine and when I share, and I'm happy to meet everyone else who's doing it too. So
yeah, that is gorgeous.
So this was right here in Poughkeepsie. One day, these waves were rolling across the sky, and you can kind of see the one that's aligned in the middle here, and then the one off to the left side of the photo is the next one that's coming in, and the clouds would break and roll, just like at the ocean. And it was incredible. And the sun set at this angle where it lit up the undersides perfectly the whole way. I try to be out there for the sunrise and or sunset every day. I see a lot of them. Some just stand out, and this was definitely one of them.
Wow, what a beautiful thing to do, to see the sunrise and the sunset every day. That's really on the Hudson River.
It's definitely a little gem here in the Northeast US. So
I love the water there, like the darker orangey, burnt purpley reflection on the water. Like, it's very subtle, but it's such a contrast to the sky is dramatic, and then the water is very
it's
texture,
yeah, the way the river plays with the colors and however choppy or not it is always interesting too. Anytime you're setting up, you never know what you're going to get. There are times when that river is glass, and there are times when it looks like the ocean again underneath as well. So it's an ever-changing and dynamic location to shoot, and it's one of those ones I'm very privileged to have ready access to all the time. So
yeah, it's gorgeous. So beautiful. Oh, look at that. Amazing.
So this is all that same wave, just rolling across the sky at night. A few minutes later, colors deepen a little bit, and I repositioned slightly to get a different bridge in the shot.
Beautiful.
And it just happened to, break up that and these other high clouds that were off in the distance from the previous wave that, now we're giving off this more yellowish hue compared to the orange up close. It was just a really cool time. And I was, this isn't gussied up. This is what I wear all the time. It's a t-shirt and jeans or shorts, a hoodie now that it's starting to get a little nippy out. My t-shirt was lit up orange with the reflection of these clouds. And it was incredible. I think my wife has a picture on her phone I can try to find. And it looks like I'm wearing an orange shirt. It was a really cool night.
That's lovely. So you guys usually both get up every day and go for a walk and take pictures?
So she still works a more conventional job. She's a financial advisor. So mornings are tough for her to be out and cloud gazing, sunrise gazing. So we do spend a lot of time on the sunsets, and anytime anything looks like it's going to be good, we definitely will go outside. We've got a nice little loop right around where we live that takes us down along the river here. And
so
as you can see,
these are on OpenSea. These are on OpenSea.
They are, yeah. The entire collection, Soul Seasons, is going to be on OpenSea. I'll be dropping each set on the Equinox or what's the other one?
Solstice.
Yeah, there you go. Equinox or Solstice. So this is the summer season. It dropped on the autumnal equinox, so on.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully I can get all the pictures together and ready in those times. It's a little interesting, but yeah, it's a fun project and something to keep me, going all through the year. So I'm excited about it.
So the links are going to be below. And then also, if you want, you can also put the links in the comments like afterwards. Because a lot of times if people are looking on their phone, they're not going to hit in the description. But if you, if you put it in the comment, and then I can pin a comment, then you can be at the top so people can click on it and see the whole collection, buy your work if they choose to. Oh, that is
cool.
Gorgeous. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so this was kind of like the end of this cloud wave breaking across the sky there. You can see the orange has moved on, and now I'm getting this deep red and almost purple there. I really like how in the upper left, the sky is coming through a little bit more in the clouds, and it gives it the blue, the dark blue of the night coming in. So really just one of those moments as a photographer where you just can't believe how lucky you got. Like this came to me, I didn't have to hike up a mountain. I see all these people going to incredible lengths to get these phenomenal shots, these once in a lifetime, views. And while this isn't, Grand Tetons or anything, that, I don't know that I'll ever see something quite this beautiful here on the Hudson River again. So it was just a really wonderful experience to get to capture and share with my wife.
Did you study photography or art?
Not like formally. That was never a major. In high school, I was in the photography club. I was in drama club. That was more my thing. I'm hyper. So, performance art was where I was going. It hasn't been, until now that I can kind of slow down a little bit in the daily grind, that I can enjoy the patience that is required to do something like photography, especially if you want to get something moving. It's always lie in wait kind of situation. So yeah.
What kind of camera do you use? I mean, it's just beautiful, like the format, the colors, the composition, like, you know, even if here's the thing about photography that I've noticed, you know, as an artist, like there could be two people taking the same picture and they're not even going to look that similar at all. You know what I mean? It's really the eye of the photographer. And I feel like it's even like the soul or the energy or whatever that really captures the frame, you know, and the exact picture. And so that's just gorgeous. Like I love the way the format, that rectangle. It seems like a little bit wide, right?
Yeah, so this was shot on my old Nikon. It was a D3300, which is kind of like an entry-level DSLR camera. And it had really what was just a kit lens on it, an 18-35. And yeah, so it was probably shot at 18 millimeter and cropped to get rid of some of the darker areas outside of, you know, the dynamic, you know, range of the shot. And yeah, that's it's definitely one of those you can get really good shots on a fairly inexpensive camera, mostly if you're in the right place at the right time. And my wife, it's so frustrating to try so hard at something and not be as good as somebody who is just talented. You know what I mean? And my wife has a fantastic eye, so she'll just be like, no, come over here. And, oh yeah, that's way better, babe. Thanks. So you know, always enjoy getting to shoot with her. But yeah, it's I don't know. I like to say a lot of it is luck. I'm just a guy walking around with a camera, and sometimes I get to see cool stuff.
Yeah, amazing. Ooh, it's so beautiful.
So I've discovered in shooting these shots so far that I'm way more obsessed with the color orange than I ever thought I was. And capturing it in a lot of these has been really intriguing and exciting for me. So I don't know why, but I guess that's why you do it, right? You're just drawn to it.
Yeah.
So these three, this was a morning along the Atlantic seaboard, right in Virginia, actually not far from DC. And this is our second day of vacation just this past year, or yeah, end of August actually. And you want to get up? Okay, let's get up. And went down to the beach, and I brought the camera, just wondering, and holy geez, it was just this incredible scene. And the crepuscular rays coming through the cloud, and the stillness of the ocean. I mean, that's the Atlantic. That's not a lake or anything. It's just super calm. And even though the waves weren't big, they would roll or, you know, slide all the way up the beach, and then it really just felt like a bride walking by with like a veil dragging behind. That was the way the waves would recede back. And it was just this perfect scene, like another one of these that stand out. I'll always remember this sunset at this time. So really just looking at it, I really just want to go back.
I know, it's amazing. Like the circles, the lines, there's like 4 different oranges in there. It's really, I've never seen a sky like that. It has like bubbles or something coming off the edge and then rays going up. I mean, yeah, I love the foam too. Like that's the only hint that you have that's the ocean, because it is so calm, so flat.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And let's give a shout out to Lightroom Classic for helping us out with the color, bringing them up, because I don't know. I always like to over ISO everything. It's not a good, it's not a good practice. So this is supposed to be the second one in this one. Because in a lot of these photos, you know, the idea is to draw the eye to the sky. I want people to look up and out of their phones, and you know, all the metaphorical reasons people look down. I darken the foreground, anything earthly related, as much as I can, and just let it be everything else. So you notice the river shots, and this one, the land, the sand. I try to keep it as dark as possible for the most part. If I can do it without ruining the photo, I try to do that. This shot, I think, is probably, of the whole set, my favorite, because of the optical illusions of the sun there in the middle. It looks like the sun is rising, and it's actually already, it's above the cloud layer there. The sun is just peeking out from under the cloud. The reflection is on the water, but then there's also this Lion King-esque larger sun thing coming up in the background. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. It's just the way the light is coming through. It was one of those that you don't realize that's what you captured until you go back and you put it in and into whatever, bring it up on the computer screen and zoom in and start to obsess over it. You find all these little nuanced things about a photo that's, I'm sure a lot of photographers have those little moments where you don't realize you got something, or maybe you got more than you thought. And yeah, that was definitely this shot. I don't know.
Beautiful. I love fire tents. You're reminding me, I used to take a lot of photos of fires. I used to build a lot of campfires, especially in 2020. Oh, like every weekend, I would love looking in the fire, and I take a lot of pictures of fire. And like, to me, it's like every picture of fire is gorgeous, and it has that same orange, you know? But I remember, like, I would like zoom in on the photos and see different things, you know, all kinds of shapes and things.
I mean, keep going. Maybe you can put together a 10K and release that.
I'm always doing so much. It was amazing. Actually, I got to show this one photo. Actually, I had a very bad head injury. So this fire was really healing my brain. It really, something about the fire does something very amazing to your brain. And one time this horse went by. This is Washington, D.C., but there's like a forest, and you can actually build fires here. And nobody really used to know at all before lockdown that you could do this. So you'd just be out in the forest by yourself. One time this was like the nighttime, you could see the shadow of a horse. And I'm like, is that really a real horse? But it was. So,
was it just a horse?
There was a man there with the horse.
Okay. Well, that's okay. That makes more sense. But
the picture is so awesome. It's a fire, and then there's just this big horse in the background. Like,
yeah,
it was so magical. I thought it was two horses, but it turns out the second horse was a man. I'm like, is that two horses coming towards? Because they were kind of coming towards me, and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, throw that up. That'd be interesting to see.
It's beautiful. I love fire. Like, I can never look at too many pictures of fire or the sky. Like, these are just so beautiful.
Thank you.
Really.
Yeah, I think it's that motion, right? It's the dance.
And water reflection. Yeah, I've been working inside all summer because I'm like, I'm going to work super hard, and then I'm going to go travel all around. But yesterday I went outside and I put my hammock next to the rock creek. We have a little water, and I was watching the reflections on the tree from the water, the leaves. And I'm like, oh, wow, why don't I do this every day? Like, it was so amazing. Like, whatever you're seeing in the sky, it's out there every day. You're just like, oh my God, that's so incredible.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's one of those things I think we take for granted. And, you know, a lot of those things are, if you would just stop and sit back and take a moment to enjoy, it would really help a lot. Your overall outlook on life and your
Yeah.
your general feelings. I mean, there's a reason you should be outside, you know, portions of the day. So
Yeah, I go outside every day too. I didn't go outside today, but almost every single day I get up and I go outside and run around. Look at, usually I pick some little tree leaves and make tea out of it, or, I make sure I go outside every day in the morning. Otherwise, if I don't, after like a couple of days, I'm just feel like depressed or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely need to get out there. I mean, vitamin D is a real thing, and literally get it from the sun. So
yeah,
that's kind of, what drives this is it's that, reminder to yourself in the morning. Like it's hard to get up and drag yourself somewhere at 4:30, 5 in the morning to be there for when the sun comes up. But it's not as hard. Somehow it's not as hard as getting up at 6:30 to get ready for work. So, you take it. And this set in particular was kind of an ode to that morning grind. And that's why it's a landscape, and then portrait, and then landscape again, because I really feel like that's how people stretch in the morning. It's, it's out, up, out again, and then you roll your legs out of bed. And that's literally I had to really work on the process just to get out there for this morning. And it, the reward is all of this brilliant color and this beautiful scene.
Yeah,
so
that's a huge reward. Like, amazing.
Yeah. Really happy. That's what we got next.
Ooh, oh my gosh, that is just beautiful.
Yeah, so this was out in the middle of the river. I was fortunate enough to have access to a friend's boat, and out there, and it's a pontoon boat. So I was able to like open the front gate and just lay down right on the front, a foot and a half over the water, and just cruise up during this really cool pastel kind of sunset that we had that night. And I was just obsessed with all of the lines and how none of them kind of go together. They're all there. None of them conflict, but they're not quite parallel. And they also, the contrails seem to break up the different colors pretty well in the sky and where they were situated. And I don't know, just it connected with me, and it connects with others on just that very mellow, meditative kind of level of, relax and let your, concerns just kind of drift away, turn into that cotton candy sky and disappear.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Connects you with like eternity and beauty. I love beauty. Like, beauty is the best. So is everyone up there aware of like the Hudson River School of Artists? Do you know that's like a very famous genre of paintings, I think around the 1900s, the turn of that century, around 1900.
I'm sure the fine artists are. I have.
Oh, you don't even know? This is amazing. Okay, because there's various, I live here in Washington. I could go and I could like look at some paintings today of the Hudson River School artists. So it was this huge genre of artists, especially because, well, I know a lot of the New York City artists always used to go up there, especially before air conditioning in the summer. But I think it was just a place where all these artists were living, and they were painting these massive landscapes that looked just like this because it was in the same place, and it had a lot of the same colors. And it's this beautiful genre of artists. And also, it's also very famous Native American territory. Who's from up there? Is it the Blackfeet or the Mohawks? Or it's very
Iroquois, Algonquin, Mohawk. Yeah, there was a lot of all of the, not all, many of the towns have kept the old Native American names and rivers
like
too.
Probably is one.
Yeah. I don't think that was us. That's an English word. let's say there's a lot of cultural heritage here, particularly as it pertains to the arts. This is where we had Woodstock. We've got not every, but the vast majority of your 80s rock gods have retired to Dutchess County here in Hudson Valley. Yeah. You know, who is it? Daryl Hall has a restaurant and you know, small stage out here in Dutchess County, and you never know who you're going to run into on any given night at that place. You bump into these people at the store, and I'm kind of old enough to know who they were, but kids don't. They kind of move in and out of the crowd now anonymously, but we know poison. Like we know some of these guys. It's really cool. They certainly add to the environment around here and contribute to the arts still, which is great. I really hope to be able to grow the NFT space here because of this history of artistic and cultural relevance. Like I really feel like we shouldn't lose that going forward. And obviously NFT art is at the very least a piece of the puzzle, a piece of art history now, and potentially the future of it. So why not in a place with so much, you know, richness of heritage? Should we not continue? So hopefully that's a platform I can bring more attention to with the success that I might have.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, if you want to do another interview later, like we'll do like sometimes just talking about the NFT space, how people can get in, like what was your biggest hurdle into selling your first NFT, or how did you manage to sell your first one? What's the story?
Haven't.
Huh?
I haven't.
You haven't sold any yet?
No. I mean, I've collected other people's and been able to flip a couple of those on occasion. But yeah.
How much are yours?
This collection is 0.15. That's where the soul seasons will be. All of the shots will be listed at that amount. And
is it? And it's a one-on-one, a one of one?
Yep. All the shots will be one of one. There was additionals. There's a Discord link there that I sent you, as well as on the page. There will be giveaways. There's, utility and extras built in. What's that?
Okay, so this is your first drop that just happened like a week ago.
This is the first landscape drop. Yeah, I did a little cutesy collection of animal photography, wildlife stuff. But yeah, this is the first.
Is all of your stuff on OpenSea, or are you on others? Because I started making some like really like one Tez stuff, cats and stuff like on a separate on Hickenuk. Can't even say it on him.
Yeah, I can try to. I've been having a little bit of difficulty getting on Hen and getting to Tezos in general. I don't know if that's a New York thing or if I'm just having some issues, but I can't get there. I can't get it through Coinbase. I can't get it through.
You can't get Tezos on Coinbase or Binance?
I can't get Binance in New York.
Okay. You can't get it on Coinbase? That is so crazy.
Yeah. So little difficulty, but not a big deal. One platform. My thought was to explore the Solana blockchain. I thought that it kind of made a lot of sense. Soul Seasons, Solana.
Yeah.
Right. The marketing kind of writes itself. But I really wanted the date. I wanted to get this out in conjunction, with the equinox solstice kind of thing. And I was having a lot of difficulty with the platform and getting everything together and to function properly as a marketplace. So I kind of just punted on that and went back to SoulSea, or went back to OpenSea. And then, yeah, I'm working on kind of like an abstract set of photography too, and landscape as well, but more abstract. And that I might have together probably more in line with when a Solana blockchain marketplace opens up. That's feasible for me with my limited technical prowess.
Yeah, well, I have a good technical prowess if you have any questions. And if
Really?
you want to, yeah, I mean, you can get Tez on like atomic swaps, but I don't know how much, it might cost too much fees in Ether. I could send you some because it's $7 for one Tez right now. Like I just got on the thinking on this week, but I find it so easy. And like, I know in 1 year, the Ethereum gas prices are going to come down because the structure of Ethereum blockchain is changing over to proof of stake instead of proof of work. Well, that's a long explanation, but the point is that all these gas fees that everybody's paying so much for when you buy, trade, or even move Ethereum from one account to another, that problem is going to be solved probably in 1 year, could be less. So when that happens, I think the market, you know, everything on OpenSea, I think it's going to explode because even for myself, it's one reason why I don't really buy too much stuff on OpenSea. I mean, right now I'm not really buying art, but I really want to buy art, like whenever I see it. But then I'm like, oh, those gas fees. Like say if the painting is 1.2, what did you say, 1.2 Ethereum, which today would probably be something like $300. But the price is always changing too. And because Ethereum is really pretty volatile. But then maybe you might have to pay like 50 or 150 or $300 gas fee, like depending on when you buy it. So
yeah, I try to do any buying on like Sunday morning, you know, when the gas is bottomed out, you know, at $10 a transaction or something.
Oh, it's $10 sometimes?
Yeah, the weekends is like,
I didn't
that's
know
the
that.
low gas time. Yeah, wake up the Sunday morning with your coffee and go through your favorite pieces and see what you can pick up for pretty cheap.
That's very good information. What time Sunday like? Do you have to get up at 6 or can you do it till 10 or?
No, yeah, I mean, weekends in general are going to be way lower. And yeah, for me, if I'm up way late, sometimes we go out to dinner and have a cappuccino or something. I don't get to sleep before it kicks in. I'll be up to 1:32. It's cheap. Wake up in the morning, 8:30, 9 o'clock, cheap.
All right. So that's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because you can get like, you can send some whatever coin, Ethereum, whatever Bitcoin or USDT, you know, or whatever from Coinbase to the Atomic IO. I mean, I haven't done a lot of swapping on there, but I do have a lot of coins on there and I do staking. But you could totally switch your Tezos, you know, if the price, I'm going to try again. I don't really try that much. Like I'll just go to try to swap something once I see a high fee and I just forget about it. But
yeah, there was definitely, you know, some pieces on hand too that's why I was looking into it. In Nifty Sax's space, Mortiza plays the piano, sometimes as a classical pianist from Iran. And, you know, I wanted to pick up his piece and then help support him.
oh, he's on Hikana?
Yeah, he is. I think his collection actually sold out too. He's about to go back into the recording studio and do another piece. And we haven't ironed out all the specifics yet, but kind of an agreement in principle for him to mint a few on either Polygon or OpenSea, we'll see, or Ethereum. And I'm going to buy them from him and give them away to my collectors. So in addition to, you know, sunrise, sunset, you also get some classical piano. Partly to, this is a community. We were supposed to be connecting and helping each other out. And partly because I think art isn't just any one genre, and if you can increased exposure to all of them, awesome, do it.
I know. I'm actually so excited because I'm an artist, right? And I showed in galleries, museums, and whatnot, but it really was not a good career choice. You know, like just the money was so bad for how much work you had to do that I really was just like, for years, I was racking my brain. I'm like, this gallery system is broken. Like I've had shows in big galleries and you'd think I'd be making so much money, but no, like nothing, you know, very little tiny bits of money. I mean, really, you know, probably my whole art career. Well, now, just recently, I started selling my paintings through art dealers, corporate. But, you know, but after a really long time of being out there, and so I'm so, you know, I'm so excited that like the energy in art was like it went away because even digital art is like, you know, why am I going to be bother making art just to put it under my bed or to try to, you know, get into one gallery? Whereas, as one of the gallery owners told me one time when I was trying to get her to not rip me off, she's like, there's 3,000 artists that want to be in your place. You have a lot of nerve, you know, like I'm just supposed to like suck it up and be treated badly and get no money. And so I love the NFT space. And I really like that now so many people are looking at art. Like so many people were into crypto, this and that. And they're like, oh, I need to learn about art now. Like so many people are going to see this beautiful photos and they're going to understand, oh, orange, oh, lines, you know, like I'm really excited about it because just bringing people to appreciate art, which I live in Washington, D.C. I don't even tell people I'm an artist half the time because they're just like, you know, they don't have any experience with it really.
With all those museums down there, they don't have any experience?
No, the museums do, but
the general public.
But people doesn't go to the museums, just tourists.
Yeah.
Or an artist. I mean, there are people who like art, but the general population. But
I mean, I hope that's the thing that, you know, comes out of all this NFT space and the accessibility of it is, again, that appreciation for art. It's an integral part of education. It's a tragedy what's happening to art departments in school districts around the country. They're completely getting cut out, and it's devastating for well-rounded education. And hopefully this does whatever part we can help play in filling that vacuum or that void and compensating for that. So
yeah, I think people have taken notice. I think the general public is now like, art's worth something. Like what? You know?
Well, right. Yeah. Could you imagine if the public opinion was such that you had to find cuts somewhere else to give us our art back? I mean, that would be.
They probably
will. Fantastic.
I think they will. I think everyone's going to be drawing now. Everybody's going to be painting. Like, it's pretty amazing. And I've seen such great art. Like, this is just so beautiful. I love this photo. You know, just to really take the time to look at something beautiful and heartfelt. And I feel like oh, that's beautiful.
So that's a brown pelican. So I'm obsessed with birds too. And anytime I'm out, especially by the ocean, osprey and pelican and all manner of things. I'm always snapping shots of those too. So this is something, the golden pelican. This will be another thing that's given away to one lucky collector once the series sells out. Yeah, I don't know. I just really liked the shot. Thought somebody else might too. So.
I love the water, especially the lines. And how do you do the giveaway? Do you just like randomly pick a number? I know that, like Nifty did that, right? He's like, I don't know if he put all the numbers in a box or picked one.
Yeah, like I think he had the little wheel thing or the random generator. At most, I'll have 10 collectors' names to put in there. So it'll literally probably be like a video of names going into a hat, and I'll have my wife or grandson, pick out the name of who's going to get it, post that, and send this over to the wallet, and hope it's one they appreciate and enjoy too.
Mm.
So this one was New Jersey shoreline at sunrise. And I don't, again, this is about lines, like the really high clouds coming in, obviously going to a point, but that's way off. The low clouds kind of more level. The wave comes in at one angle. The horizon is semi-flat. I don't know. This is one of those where my wife's like, "Why is that one going in there?" I'm like, "Because I like it." Something about the texture of the cloud. It's in the middle too. I always found it super fascinating, like the way it was almost striated with the light. This one's very peaceful for me.
Yeah, I love it. I love the reflection on the water, and then the black that's in the lower waves. And that's the thing about art. I have a master's degree in art, and I've been an artist for so long. And even when I had a master's degree, I used to be intimidated by art because that was the way the system worked, so that you had your one elite item, and then nobody can understand you because you're so much more, above people. And so like they created it to be like a snobby system, but after studying art for so long and being in it, you're like, oh, it's really just if you like it or not, basically. I mean, there are levels of giftedness and of skill, this, that, and the other, but a lot of it is just that, you like it, you don't like it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the beautiful things about art, is that if you can convey the emotion, that you don't necessarily need to be the most technically skilled person. A lot of things that are very popular art that command a lot of money, and anytime it goes up for auction, I mean, and it could just be me, I don't necessarily see the form or the function. It is how abstract it is that gives it its value or its prominence in art, whether it's music or fine art, dance. I support everybody in their art.
Yeah.
But I don't understand interpretive dance. I'm sure a lot of people do. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing with art, is that sometimes I go to lectures down here in the National Gallery, and they'll be like lecturing, the art historian will be like saying all this stuff, and I'm like, they're just making it up. Like Picasso's blue period, I know he just ran out of red paint. I'm an artist. Right. I know how we do. Or maybe somebody gave him like a ton of blue paint, like it wasn't like, I mean, of course he made a beautiful, amazing series out of it, but it wasn't like, sometimes they'll make up the whole stories, like, about the blue, right. But generally it's something like that.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, that's one of the great things about art is it's an enigma in and of itself, and it should be, and that's
how do you find out? Oh, that's so beautiful. It's so amazing. How do you find out? Do you know a lot of like the NFT world, like who's selling the most? And I haven't kept up with it at all. And I don't even know where people do that.
I'm so new to the whole thing. Like I've only been in it for 3 months. I still wish I had like a dictionary or a glossary of terms somewhere, I was lucky enough, really just mostly through Nifty Sax's space for introverts, find so many super talented and prominent people in the space, and it's that's what's helped me learn as much as I know now. But all I know now is how much I don't know right now, and I've got a lot of learning and reading to do. And I posted something. It's a John Mulaney joke about the stock market, but Dee's posted something, and to him, he was just saying a normal thing. And my comment was, I can't tell you how frustrating it is to not know what this means. And true Dee's fashion being amazing, he reaches out and shoots me a link to all these really great articles and everything to teach me about the finance end of it. And that was super cool. And now I get to learn about that. But it's just a lot of intake right now. And I don't even really know how to turn around and channel what I've got so far into something direct.
Yeah.
I hope this resonates, that this is kind of a crack at it here. But yeah.
I'm already idea, like you're doing series. If you can send me those articles, like I know crypto. I was in crypto. I've been in crypto for 4 years. So I know crypto, I know investing, I know things about DeFi. I mean, of course, I know what an NFT is. I know how to move exchanges, this, that, and the other, but I have not really, like, even though my name is NFTeve, this, that, and the other, I've only like tiptoed into the NFT space because like all of my art, my major art, I don't want to just put it out there wrongly. And so, and also all these terms and how does it work? And so it's one reason I actually started my channel. I was like, oh, I'm just going to pick people's brains, and I'll have them come on. So that's why I'm asking you these questions, because part of like what I'm doing here, you know, and also for anybody else out there, you know, like how, you know, how does this work? How do we get into it? And
yeah, I think that's, you know, the comforting thing about all this. It is daunting, the amount of information out there. And of course, we are dealing with money at the end of the day. So there's a lot of risk. But the willingness of those who have the information to impart it on everyone and try to all come up together through this is really what makes the whole environment and the whole community a breath of fresh air.
I know, it's exciting and it's fun. And like, I've been an artist forever, but I love a brand new artist. Like, I love a person, oh yeah, I just started, you know, making art last week. And it's like amazing. Like, I love to see what they're doing because it's the freshness, the newness, you know, it's a variety. I love everything, you know. There's so many people just coming out of the woodwork and showing their creativity and their sense of beauty like this. Like, who would meet you and know that that was inside of your mind, right? Like, you know, it's just so gorgeous.
Yeah, this was another day along the Atlantic where sun would come through in these rays and these broken clouds that, you know, it's like an armada of tiny ships in the sky, you know, going through it. I don't know. I wish I had, you know, had a couple of cameras with me so I could have set one up to kind of do like a time lapse and see the way these rays would dance as the clouds moved. And it was just a super tranquil and I don't know. It was different this time, you know. You can see there's some surf and some chop to the water, but it was rhythmic. It was very like the way it would lap. So there was almost this metronomic movement to the whole morning, and it was a very different, almost spooky. I don't know, just a troubled vibe. So, and that's kind of why these ones got the name they got. It was the sea was like a petulant child. That's what it reminded me of. Toys all over the place. Not sure what it wants to do. It's angry, but for no reason. So it can't really work up a rage or a fever. But it's not happy, and you're going to know about it. And that was just this morning. So
Is it? I'm very drawn into the blacks of that sand, like the color. I love art too. I love color. Like to me, I just spend so many years just painting because I just love the color. Like I'm having fun putting a color somewhere. And so like just the black, that color black is just so rich and beautiful. And it like it changes, from one end to the other. And it gets like a tiny bit of like this brownish black gray. Oh my gosh, like it's just stunning.
It's nice when the sand is a little bit darker in general. It doesn't reflect the light as much, so it's good. But again, like I'll as much as I can in most of my photography, landscape photography, you'll see me, or this collection anyway, you'll see me pull as much of the light out of any foreground element as I can, just really to emphasize that look up, just always.
I know, it's interesting. It's so funny because I'm actually really looking a lot at the black because it's just such
interesting, right?
Black. I like the sky too, and I like the water a lot.
That's the beautiful thing about art is you get these differences between two people who are looking at the same image, and if we brought another 20 people in, we would get another 20 takes on the photo, and it's awesome. I hope people get to appreciate it on their own level, and I guess that's kind of why we all do it, right?
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up? Is there something you want to share or something? Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful.
Last shot. No, nothing in particular.
Wow.
I thank you again very much for taking the time with me today. It's like I said, it's my first time doing this, so.
Oh, wow. That's the real color of the sky.
What, in the back? Oh yeah. So Lightroom Classic, if you're familiar with it, you just up the vibrance a little bit.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
This was shot this year, so this was actually with my new camera, or this was this August trip. So this was with my new camera, and it's the D780. It's really, really good at capturing all this light in RAW. So when I get it into Classic, I can just kind of take texture up the cloud a little bit with the light and dark, and then just up the vibrance a little, and out comes all the background color from the foreground. It's super cool, super fantastic. And yeah, I'm now obsessed with like the mid-Atlantic area and how the ocean turns this emerald green color in the morning. It was several days, like it wasn't a fluky thing. I was just amazed by it. I'm used to being up on New York and New Jersey beaches, and the water is not that color. So that was really cool to experience. But yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Do you sell prints too?
I have in small batches. Since COVID, my inexpensive means of printing has become much more expensive. So without then even a place to go necessarily and sell them, the investment is a little bit more than I want to take on right now. But I certainly would, print small scale and send them out. If somebody was looking for, a 2 foot by 3 foot metallic or acrylic, like that's a little bit tricky for me to get together right now. Being very COVID conscious, I guess you'd call it, and just thoroughly avoiding unnecessary public interaction. That's why I'm in the middle of nowhere with most of these shots. I just want to, enjoy nature with my tight little community of people.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much for coming on and showing your work. It's just beautiful, and I wish you all the best. I'm sure you're going to sell the whole collection because it's really super gorgeous. And I love the connection also to this school, the Hudson River Valley School of Artists.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of Googling right now to see if this is something I can.
I'm gonna connect you with Joanne. I'm gonna send this to Joanne because he's gonna love it because he's gonna recognize also the bridges, this and that. And then yeah, they did these huge landscapes. Beautiful. Like just almost like that one picture you had that when you were on the boat, when you had like the two mountains, like a lot of them are like that, like just grandeur.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I'm gonna
there's a lot
too.
Yeah, there's a lot of great space up here, so I'm excited to see the art for that.
There's one artist that I can't remember the name, but we have some of his pieces here, and they were also like not just landscapes, but it was like whimsical kind of creatures in the boats, and but the landscape is always the backdrop, like really super nice. So
awesome.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Down for checking it out.
I'm gonna
thank you.
The stop recording button.